CT Betts actually had one of the brilliant videos, and he actually brought something back that I've always enjoyed, and that's the hula. He made a sweatshirt. I don't even know if that's got to be a bestseller at some point. I know I still have the sweatshirt.
Great sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's a great sweatshirt. I wear it all the time. It's like I haven't worn it on air in a while because it's like pretty hot down in my basement.
Right.
But I'm telling you, it's a great sweatshirt. But you brought it back. I know producer Pun is in the background. I want him to pull up that video because one of your best, and I've watched it a couple times.
I appreciate that.
And and for the people that are watching right now live on YouTube and watching us live on Twitter, I'm hoping that Pun heard me, and he's gonna pull up the video right now as he's got it locked in. Pun, we got it locked in. Or we?
It's coming, boys. I had to get us on YouTube. We weren't streaming live on YouTube yet. So
I did see that because I was trying to retweet the stream. But yeah, we're on live now.
I'm pulling up CT's YouTube right now, or CT's Twitter page right now.
Yep, it should be Sunday night.
To pull it, so
yep. But while he's pulling that up, let's talk about the recap of the conference championships here. This is going to be a quick talk on this one. San Francisco and Philly. Felt like we lost the competitiveness of that game. Brock Purdy getting knocked out of the game actually had Brandon Ayuk wide open, and I think that's who he was going to throw to in that one. Would have been a touchdown. What did you get from that game? Did you have any thoughts about this game, how Philly performed versus how San Francisco performed? Granted, they were down to, I don't know, the kicker was going to be the quarterback at some point, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, we got Josh Johnson, who's their fourth string quarterback, who they picked off up the streets pretty much.
XFL. He was an XFL quarterback. Yes.
Yeah. Played for, I think it's 12 or 13 different teams. But what I was on the Niners in that game as well, Guns, and we don't know what we would have seen if Purdy doesn't get hurt. I think we would have seen a totally different game, right? But what I was able to do, and I'm not, you know me, I'm full transparency, right? I admit when I'm totally wrong on a game, and I don't think we were wrong on this game. No. But Guns, after the Niners tied it up, and that's when Johnson was in, it was 7-7. I went and live bet as much as I could on the Eagles, got off everything I could because I knew that they had no shot of winning that game with Josh Johnson. It was just no game plan. Shanahan's game plan went out the window. So if you had the Niners and you weren't live betting the Eagles, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you. So that being said, right, the Eagles, to answer your question, they get a bye. Then they play the Giants. Then they get, granted, I give them credit. They knocked Purdy out of that game. So credit to the defensive line there and the linebackers. But I still don't think Jalen Hurts is healthy either. A lot of those balls he was throwing, man, he was missing. And I think that could be a big concern come Super Bowl next week.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think this is probably something that you have to make notate. And we'll talk about the Pat Mahomes injury in here. But as we transition, talk about the AFC Championship on this one. But I agree with you on this one. I just felt like I got robbed based on losing the last bastion of a quarterback in Brock Purdy. I think he would have handled that game well. I think he would have managed that game properly. I think that throw would have been a touchdown. However, injuries happen as they go. Takes out his throwing arm. Josh Johnson gets hurt, concussion, and then you got to bring in Brock Purdy with a bad arm.
Right. He can't even throw it. So it's like you're screwed. That's it.
So you have CMC trying to keep the game, keep the San Francisco 49ers in the game. And all of a sudden it's like they're one dimensional. I don't know. Shanahan's game plan. He just throws his book out. It's like, I don't know what to do anymore. It's he just takes a loss.
Wanna know what? I mean, Guns, they got really lucky. Shanahan freaked out, right? He didn't know what to do. They got really lucky. They could have killed McCaffrey. They made that the game plan, running him. He's lucky he's still standing on both of his legs. I thought they were going to break him. Shanahan panicked there, which he usually doesn't. I'm a big fan of Shanahan, and man, he didn't expect that. No one did, right? So he didn't know what to do, and he couldn't think on his toes, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the assessment of the game. We felt like I was on the San Francisco side. I don't know if you were too, Chris, but
yeah, I was. Guns, wake up! I said I was on the Niners. But
okay,
then I was live betting the Eagles. Come on, Guns.
I gotta step my game up. I gotta wake up here, folks. Forgive me. We're gonna wake this up right now and go into the next game that was on the slate, and this one was absolutely an electric game for the ages. Good AFC Championship game, especially when you're dealing with KC and the ever elusive Cincinnati Bengals. They own them 3 straight games. They go into the 4th game, and you have a quarterback that is playing on a high ankle sprain, shows up, does his job. I felt like at the end of the game, towards the 4th quarter, his ankle was really bothering him. The passes became a little bit shorter, but I think from an Andy Reid standpoint, he managed the game on this one. What are your thoughts on this one, Chris?
Yeah, well, first of all, couldn't agree with you more. It was definitely bothering him. In the second half of that game, you could tell he started hobbling on it a little bit. He didn't even get hit. He just twisted it wrong himself. But what a freak, man. I don't know if anybody else could have played with that injury other than him. Maybe Tom Brady in his prime. But the amount of pain he was in, even after being shot up and all the medication he was taking, you could just tell it wore on him. And man, what a warrior. He played a great game. And yes, you're right. Andy Reid coached a very, very strong game there for the Chiefs. I mean, every wide receiver was going out.
Right.
Valdes Scantling, what a game he played. I mean, he's
awesome.
Out of nowhere. I mean, Schuster, he gets hurt. And Kelsey, he's playing hurt. What a game he played. Before the game, I was told from a couple of guys that are very plugged into the NFL that Kelsey wasn't going to go. Thank God Kelsey went, because McCole Hardman, he's hurt. Tony, he got hurt. I mean, everyone, you name it. So what the Chiefs did versus Joe Cool and company, man, I give them a lot of credit. They are. That was the game I thought that they were going to lose. If they won that one and pulled it out, which they did, man, it's going to be tough to beat them next weekend. And I know everybody, the Eagles team, they were great all year for sure, and they do look well. But we'll get into the Super Bowl picks a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to talk about where they're playing. They're playing the State Farm Stadium. You have Andy Reid, you have Pat Mahomes that are basically the endorsers of State Farm, and Andy Reid playing his former team that let him go. He goes to KC and absolutely dominates. Granted, he has Pat Mahomes as the quarterback on this one, but we were both on KC on this one, and you had a absolute electric celebration on this one. And I know Punt's in the background. Can you cue up the CT celebration? If you can. This is CT in his house. He has 5 TVs in there?
5 TVs, yeah. CT Sportsbook.
Yeah, CT Sportsbook. And the boy is celebrating like Tom Brady just won the AFC Championship back in the day. I know he's look at him go. We don't have the sound on this one, but it's fine. Oh God, I wish I had the sound on this one. He was just absolutely electric on this one. God damn, I could watch you do the hula all day long. Absolutely perfect. And
thank you. Yeah, it was nice celebrating that one, Guns. You and I are very close friends.
Yes.
That was the biggest bet I had all season on the NFL. So it was a nice way to cash, with only 3 games left. Was the championship week, those 2, and then the Super Bowl. That was my best bet of the week, and I gave that out as my most confident NFL game all season long. So I know a lot of people cashed with me, so it was very nice, and it got a little too close for comfort. I never really thought KC was in jeopardy until really late there in the fourth quarter. But the better team prevailed, the better coach prevailed, and the better team prevailed. And want to know what? Guns, the better quarterback prevailed as well.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Even though Pat Mahomes was not 100%, he was still the best quarterback in that game. I felt the defense actually stepped up in that game as well. I think they really played their hearts out on that one. Granted, with the Pat Mahomes injury, a lot of things happened at the end of that game that was a little bit wild. The pass rush for KC is an absolute weapon. They abused a Bengals offensive line that was absolutely depleted, which should have happened in the Buffalo game, but Buffalo just had snow and they couldn't get traction. They didn't have Von Miller anymore, so that kind of hurt them as well.
Yep.
But then you saw KC do exactly what they were supposed to do. Chris Jones had a game.
What a game, man.
We were waiting for him to actually do what he did in that game for how many playoff runs that KC had, and he did it in that game. So kudos to him. Kudos to the
Frank Clark as well. Give him a lot of credit too. What a game Frank played too. Those two guys were all over the place. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely electric. And you brought the hula, and I was like, I should film my own hula, put it on your chat, but I did not. All right. Let's go into NFL news, then we'll go into some CBB talk. A lot of news that have happened as they always do towards the end of the season when they get to the Super Bowl. Brady announces his retirement, 23-year career, does it on Twitter, does it with less pomp and circumstance. I know Pun is in the background. If you could play that video when you're ready, just give me a heads up. I'm back to I felt like he should have retired probably after the Tampa Bay Super Bowl win. He did not. And seeing his career end the way it ended, I feel like he was probably 2 years too late or something like that. So I know he's given, as two Patriot fans, two Boston fans, he gave me so many great memories in 20 years. I will never hate that man ever, no matter what team he plays for or whatever he does in his career. When you saw that retirement announcement, do you feel like it was genuine and he's going to stay out of the league? Or does it feel like a Brett Favre announcement?
You know, I was thinking the same thing when I saw the video, and it kind of caught me by surprise, Guns. I thought for sure he was coming back next year on a different team. There really wasn't a doubt in my mind he was coming back for, I thought maybe 2 more years, to be honest with you, especially after the divorce. Now, you know, he's on his own. I know that was causing lots of problems in their marriage, him wanting to play football and Giselle wanting him to hang him up. So I was very, very surprised, and I hope it is a final goodbye, Guns, because I don't want to see him do what Brett Favre did. No. It was embarrassing, and no one should do that. Once you retire, you should retire. And if he said, listen, this is, I know, you know, I did this once before, so I'm going to be short and sweet here. If he comes back again, I'm going to be very upset with him. And obviously, you said it best. We're 2 huge Patriots fans, Boston guys, but that's really going to rub me the wrong way. I hope to God that he's not up in the booth next year and he's like, man, this sucks. I kind of suck at this. I could look at these guys. I could still be playing and come back. I really, really hope not.
He's got, like, I meant, like, when I was talking about the Brett Favre thing, I was talking about his hunger. It's like he's just a competitor. It's like he's afraid to, like, not be able to compete in anything anymore. It's like, and I felt like Brett Favre had that ability, but, like, yeah, you have to, like, shut everything up. Hey, Pun, can you play the announcement and see if you can turn the sound on, because the sound didn't come on the Hulu play.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So Really, thank you guys so much to every single one of you for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
Yeah, and short, sweet, to the point. Right. I know he already announced his retirement last year, kind of. So he kind of like played that off. Like, I've already done this before. Seeing him at the end, like seeing that emotion, like, oh shit, like the reality of like him like not being able to go to camp or not like going through a process in his life that he's done for 23 years. And it hit him in that moment. And it was like, I don't know, it felt genuine. Makes me think that, like, you know, is it the end, or you know, there are teams that like the NFL needs quarterbacks. I'm a little bit worried that somebody's going to give him a phone call and say, like, dude, you look good out there. You still can do it. And like, I mean, at what point is it going to be like, we got to stop this?
Yeah. It's got to be stopped. I mean, 23 great years, 7 Super Bowls. You are literally the GOAT. We'll never see anything like that again in our lifetime. We'll be telling our kids about that, and you know, we'll be watching the ESPN Classic games of all the old Super Bowls and reminiscing all the good times. It's going to stink for NFL and football in general, because he made the game so much better, right? And so much more enjoyable, and people so much more to talk about. Tom Brady. So it hits hard. I didn't expect it, but I hope he doesn't. I hope he keeps it that this is, you know, the final hurrah here.
I think he's going to be great as a correspondent or an analyst. I think he's with Fox.
Fox, yeah.
I think he's got that. It's like, I'm interested in seeing his takes on stuff. Like, I mean, people shit on Romo, and I get it. Like, Romo's reaction to stuff, but it's still his personality. He's still trying to show up. But like, when he actually looks at a play, I'm more interested in seeing if Tom in the booth, when he sees like the layout of this offense, like, oh look, that is like, you got this guy sitting here, you got this guy. Like, right. I want to see the same stuff that Tony Romo brings to the game that Tom Brady could probably bring in better. So it's going to be interesting to see if he still holds to the retirement. I'm going to like sit and wait, and then wait till August. I'm like, okay, you're not coming back?
Yeah.
Okay. I think once he gets past that first season and sees the transition is all right, he will be fine. All right, that's going to do it for the well, actually, no, I want to talk about coaching.
You want to do Super Bowl picks or?
Yeah. I mean, like, let's talk about Super Bowl here. It's like, the only lean that I really have on this one is like, I'm probably going to be gravitating towards the under. I'm going to try to find a way to get there. I haven't got there on the side. What are your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, so like you said, the Chiefs were my best bet all year, and now we got the Super Bowl, and we saw that line, right? It opens up, as got to high as -2.5. Chiefs were the favorite when the sharp shops came out. The sharp money and the public money comes in on the Eagles. It flips the Gulls to the favorite, and that gets as high as Eagles -2.5. Then we see that some sharp Chiefs money come in. I ended up getting in on the Chiefs. Then I got +2.5 and +2. I think it's important to note, though, Guns, we talked a little bit about this backstage before, that the same players who played the Gulls quickly and took the Gulls +2.5, they're the same guys that came back on KC +2.5. So yeah, they have both those bets in their pocket. Now it settles in at Eagles -1.5 almost everywhere. Andy Reid, like you said, 14th season as the Eagles coach. He was unable to win the big one there. Now he's looking to capture his second title in the last 4 years here versus the Gulls in Super Bowl 57. And I just think these 2 weeks off are completely huge for the Chiefs. It's just what the doctor ordered.
Right.
Today we get the news that Hardman, Juju, and Tony all don't practice. don't put much into that. I mean, get some rest. They're going to rest. I expect them all to play next Sunday. So I don't put too much into that. Mahomes, like I said before, he's an absolute freak. They'll shoot him up again. Chiefs have been to the AFC Championship the last 5 years, only one title to show for it. They're going to get number 2 next Sunday. Chiefs are going to win this game outright. So that's my pick on the game. And I'm with you on the total here. I know it's 50.5. I think some books got as high as 51. Sharp money came in on the under there. And we saw the playoffs start, right? It started with 4 straight overs. Then we saw 7 straight unders. Unders come through the last 5 of 6 for the Eagles and 4 of 5 for the Chiefs. So I think the under is the way to go here for the total for the Super Bowl guns.
Just CT bets, just preaching to the people. Listen, I'm leaning to the under in this one. I want to be able to digest everything. I want to see people show up. I want to see the interviews. I always kind of wait because initially when I look at the Super Bowl betting, it happens as soon as the games end at the AFC NFC Championship. You're going to see a lot of movement here, and then you're going to see a lull. You're going to see the line kind of stick where it's at. And then, as we get into the next week and we gravitate into Wednesday, Thursday, that's where you're going to start seeing the line dance a little bit. So I want to be on the right side of the line. I'm taking my time on this one, and I want to make sure that certain players are going to be playing this game. Listen, you have Kelsey with a back spasm issue. CT just mentioned all these injury issues on the KC side. But I think what KC's going to have to do if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to figure out how to run the ball very well, especially with Pat Mahomes with a bad ankle injury. That's the weak point of the Philadelphia Eagles defense. If you get caught into a situation where you have to air the ball out, that's the worst situation for a team, especially facing the number 1 pass defense as far as DVOA is concerned in the Eagles. So it's going to be interesting. The narrative's already written. They're going to be basically talking about Andy Reid. They're going to be talking about the Philly and the relationships there and trying to create this weird dynamic. So it's going to be interesting. That's for sure. All right. Because CT has a hard out on this one. We're going to skip the coaching carousel stuff for now. Sean Payton going to Denver. I think it's a good move. That's pretty much my thoughts on that one. It's better than what they had before. As long as the defense stays as it is and Peyton can focus on the offense, I think it's a good move. You have any quick thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think it's a good move as well, Guns. I mean, they had to give up a first and a second rounder. That's pretty big. They're going to make him one of the highest paid coaches in the league, but let's not forget, I mean, now you got to repair the league's lowest scoring offense and deal with Russell Wilson, who just threw his lowest career touchdowns on the year, which is 16. So it's a good move for them. Good luck. Good luck is what I got to say.
Yeah, good luck is what you have to say with that. So Russell Wilson and Sean Payton is going to be an interesting dynamic. Before we get to the college basketball talk, we give out some plays. Let's give the appropriate sponsorship read for Viva Tequila Seltzer.
This podcast is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers.
That's right, folks. As you know, the DadBodd podcast is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers. Viva Tequila Seltzers is a refreshing and drinkable hard seltzer, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations as it is created with the active lifestyle in mind. Viva flavors their tequila seltzers because flavor is the spice of life, as we like to drinks with a little bit of a kick, as we like to live our lives. Viva flavors perfectly with their artisanal Blanco tequila and subtle and refreshing drinks. Their belief is to live long, live well, and live it up. Hashtag Viva Up. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at Viva Seltzers and vivaseltzers.com to get some of these drinks. I got to tell you something about this one. I didn't really tell you. So a lot of the guys that I work with, I do have a day job.
Yep.
I did introduce them to the Viva, and they had them. One of the particular people had them shipped to Florida so that for their Florida vacation, and she is now addicted to Viva seltzers.
That's awesome.
And I said it's a great product, and anybody that can look them up and get the product shipped to them, I'm telling you,
It's available in Florida.
Yeah, it'll change your life. I'm telling you. I can't keep them in my house. That's how quick they go.
That's great to hear.
But on to bigger, better things and some picks. Let's talk some college basketball. Oh, that whistle is loud. So college basketball, late night degenerate special plays. I'm going to pass it to CT Bets. Do you got anything good tonight?
Yeah, I got one. It's actually a total that I played, and it goes 11 p.m. Eastern, and that's in Spokane. Santa Clara at number 12 Gonzaga, and I'm playing the total here, Gun. So we've seen Santa Clara. They've gotten some big offensive firepower lately. They're just 3-3 in their last 6 games. But over those 6 games, they've averaged 81.5 points, which is up from their 72.6 points per game average in December here. Then Gonzaga, they come in winning their last 2 games on the road. They put up 82, 99 respectively in those games. The total currently sits at 160. Although the under, it's hit in the last 2 games of this series, including by 2.5 points back in January 7th. I like the over in tonight's game, Guns, and I bet the over 160 here. Both these teams have high tempo numbers that fit to the top 60 in the nation here. So not to mention both these teams can really fill it up from deep and close in. They're 2 run and gun teams that much rather play offense than defense. Back on January 7th, Zaga won this game 81-76, which made the total 157, 3 shy of the current total right now. I made this number closer to 170 tonight, Gun. So I'm on the over in this one, and I think it's also worth noting if you're looking to play a side in the game here. The Zags, they have their arch rival St. Mary's on deck this Saturday. They play the first of the 2-game series, so that might be a little look ahead spot for the Zags. So for a side, I bet a small bet on Santa Clara plus the points, plus 13.5.
CT Bets firing. Wicked hat, kid. Wicked hat. For the Massachusetts Play of the Night, degenerate special style. I got 2 plays tonight, and I'm actually going to go start with Oregon versus Zona. They're going to Arizona on this one, and 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be going with Oregon plus 8.5, 1 unit special. Listen, Oregon is covered and won straight up 4 out of the last 5 games, and they're off a good home win versus Utah, 68-56, 4.5 point favorites in that game. Now you got to look at Arizona. They've only covered 3 out of the last 8, and they're off back-to-back road wins versus Washington State. And if you know anything about those 2 teams, they stink on ice. Now Oregon, they will have to slow down the Arizona offense for this to be a complete cover and keep it close. Arizona is ranked 14th in offensive efficiency, while you actually look at the Oregon defense, they actually match up pretty well as far as what Arizona wants to do. Arizona wants to score inside the arc, and they don't want to shoot threes. They're not really good at shooting the threes. They're ranked 11th in 2-point percentage in the country, but Oregon defends inside well. They're ranked 31st, so they're actually like kind of be able to defend this Arizona offense inside. Also, you got to look at Oregon's offense on this one. They're not bad either. They're ranked 42nd in the country as far as offensive efficiency is concerned per KenPom, and 27th in 2-point percentage. So you have these 2 teams that really match up well, and they have the length, they have the strength inside. Also, you got to look at the matchup on this one. Oregon actually owns Arizona as far as the matchup is concerned. They've covered 9 out of the last 10 versus Arizona, and they dominated the first matchup, won 87-68 as 4-point dogs. I know there is a little bit of a line delineation between game A and game B, but I would assume that if it was an absolute Arizona onslaught, this line would be double digits, and I don't see it at double digits. I see it at +8, +8.5, and people and the public are dumping on Arizona for some reason, and I don't get it. So I'm going to be going with Oregon on this one. I got it at +8.5, 1 unit special.
Nice.
Do you have any other games on this one, or do you want me to go to my second one?
I don't mind that at all. The one I'm going to give out last, so we could save that, is a game on Saturday, and the line's not out, but I have a pretty good analysis on it. So if,
all right, I'll go first, and
Sure.
then we'll give some Saturday leans when the line comes out. I actually just tell the people it doesn't matter what the line is. SMU playing at home versus San Francisco, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, playing at Credit Union Pavilion in Moorega, California. I probably said that wrong because I can't read. SMU, look what they're coming at. They almost got beat versus BYU 52-56 as 6.5-point favorites, so they're coming off a non-cover.
Yep.
Besides the game, actually, they've covered 5 out of the last 6. When you actually look at San Francisco, they've won 3 straight, covering all of them, and they're off a road win versus San Diego, 94-81. St. Mary's success all season long has been their defense. They're ranked 5th in the country as far as defensive efficiency is concerned. They defend well, holding their opponents to 44.5% from the floor, which is 10th in the country. So this is actually a good defense that can test shots. They're also good at rebounding defensively too. They're ranked 3rd in the country in defensive rebounds. But you got to look at on the other side with St. Mary's. They're ranked 43rd in offensive efficiency. They're good behind the arc as well, ranked 31st in 3-point shooting. But when you actually look at the San Francisco side, offensive and defensively, they're kind of middle of the road. They're ranked in like the hundreds in both categories. But what they do well, St. Mary's can just like match up with them. So like if it's 2-point percentage, you have St. Mary's that just does it better.
Yeah.
Also, you got to look at St. Mary's. They won the first matchup 78-61 as 7.5-point favorites, and now the line is sitting at -12. So there's a little bit of line delineation from game A to game B. I do know that they have Gonzaga on deck, but I think they will show up for this San Francisco team and probably maybe get their brains beaten out by Gonzaga. Was it on Saturday?
Yeah.
So, and also look at St. Mary's on this one. They've covered the last 7 matchups versus San Francisco as well. So I'm not going to buck a trend here. I'm going to be going with St. Mary's on this one, -12, and that will be a 1-unit special. So 2 plays tonight. Go hit them and cash some damn tickets because we are the hottest show on the mother effing planet. Saturday leans. What do you got?
Yeah, Saturday leans here. This is going to be a good one. When number 1 Purdue travels to Assembly Hall to take on Indiana, right? We've seen what can I say about this Purdue team, right? They've built a solid lead in the Big Ten, so it's almost impossible to catch. They come into this one last night. They blow out Penn State at home by 20. Only loss goes back to early January. They lost by 1 to sharpshooting Rutgers. On the other hand, IU comes into this game, 6-5 in the conference. They're tied for 3rd or 4th, 15-7 overall. IU, they just ripped off 5 wins in a row, and they were good wins. And then they get knocked off this past Tuesday at Maryland in a game that was never really close. And Guns, do you know what they call that loss that they just had to Maryland this past Tuesday?
What do they call it?
That's called a look ahead spot. And
yeah,
IU got caught with their pants down, looking ahead to get back home to play the number 1 team in the land. And I'm happy they did here. And I know tonight's Thursday. The lines aren't out yet for Saturday, but Ken Palm makes the line about Purdue -3. I think that's about right. I think we'll see it open up there, and I think it might get bet up a little. I think you'll be able to grab IU +4 at home on Saturday, and that's exactly what I plan to do. Look, I'm not going to take anything away from Zach Edey and this Purdue team. They've been incredible. The freshman guards look like veterans, but it's almost unsustainable what they're doing right now. The key is going to be to contain Edey, right? And you're not going to be able to contain him all game. But if you could limit him, double him up a little bit, and the IU, the sharpshooters, are making shots, they have a great chance to win. And don't be surprised if you see Assembly Hall gym floor packed with IU students around 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday.
Oh, rushing the floor. God bless it. That makes you feel like you want March to happen.
We cashing, baby. Ow!
Oh, I love that pick. I love that look ahead. That is probably going to be a breaking ankles pick on this Friday once the line comes out. But listen, with college basketball lines, if you don't know, Friday night, probably around, I'd say 8 p.m.
Yeah,
7:30
8 Eastern.
Yeah, is when the lines come out. So, like, I would suggest once that line comes out, grab Indiana on that one. You hit it right on the head. Indiana was a dog playing on the road versus Maryland. They're a ranked team versus a non-ranked team. We did take Maryland, by the way.
Yep, great call.
Yeah, great call. And what happened? They're coming off the loss, and they're deflated. However, they have a Purdue team that is just running red hot right now.
Yep.
They're due for a loss.
They're going to lose 1 or 2 games before the end of the year.
And if you actually look at this Indiana team, though, it's perfect. Chris hit it on the head. It's like they match up very well with Purdue, enough to keep it close. Not only keep it close, but win the game. So yeah, you hit it perfectly on the head. I would suggest taking the plus and then maybe a little sprinkle in the money line. Would you suggest?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I think this is going to be everybody and their uncle is going to go and hammer Purdue, and you sharp bastards that are watching this show right now are going to be hammering Indiana and cashing tickets. So, wow, perfect.
Love it.
I love it. I don't like it. I love it. I heard you can't swear on like YouTube anymore. But it's some weird thing that they would dox you on that one. I don't know if that's true or not.
We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, well, I have to go check with my lawyers on this one. I think we have one in DadBodd, but that's gonna do it. I know. Chris has a hard out. We're 2 minutes away from that hard out. So, Chris, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me Tuesday nights on Sports Map Radio, 8 to 10 Eastern. My Twitter is at CTBet16, like it reads on the screen. Find me Wednesday nights, at Hustle Show Pod, the Hustle podcast with Kelly in Vegas, Drew Martin, Adam Trigger, and myself. And I'm going on Sports Grid TV tonight. I've been on Thursday nights. Nice. You could catch me there as well. So all my stuff is free, and it's been going all right here. So hope we gave out some good advice, and hope everybody cashes some tickets here.
I'm gonna watch though, because I have YouTube TV, so I have the Sports Grid Network, and actually it's like one of the main channels I watch. So
love it.
Perfect. So Chris, thank you for joining us on DadBodd's number 109. I appreciate you, brother. You are a true friend of mine, and we'll definitely have you back on sooner than later. But that's gonna do it, folks. Hopefully you cash some tickets tonight. We gave you a few leans and some picks for tonight, and we also gave you our insight on the Super Bowls. So good luck. Let's cash some tickets. And as always, let's keep dancing.